In this lecture, we'll define phase velocity and group velocity, and we'll find the relation between phase and group velocity. Also, uh, we'll define a very important term called a guide wavelength, lambda g. So this is actually the distance traveled by a wave in order to undergo a phase shift of 2 pi radians. So it's 2 pi by beta. The wavelength in a waveguide is actually different than the wavelength in a free space. So the wavelength you use in general relation f is equal to c by lambda is that wavelength is free space wavelength. It is actually lambda 0, and this is the wavelength for a guide. So G stands for a guide wavelength. This is a free space wavelength, and just in last lecture we have obtained expression for cutoff wavelength lambda c. So in total you have three wavelengths in a waveguide, in a rectangular waveguide: lambda g guide wavelength, lambda 0 free space wavelength, and lambda c is cutoff wavelength. In fact, we have the relation among these three wavelengths: guide, free space, and cutoff wavelength, and that relation is lambda g equal to lambda 0 under root over under root 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c squared. So this is a relation among three wavelengths. Shortly we are going to derive these expressions. This equation will be true for any mode in a waveguide of any cross section, provided your cutoff wavelength lambda c corresponds to the mode and the cross section of the waveguide. So let us conclude something by looking at this expression first. When wave will propagate? First condition, if lambda 0 free space wavelength is very less than cutoff wavelength lambda c, what will happen? If lambda 0 is very less than lambda c, if lambda 0 is very less than lambda c, the denominator is approximately equal to 1, and lambda g will be approximately equal to lambda 0. So in this case, lambda g will be approximately equal to lambda 0, but you have something in denominator, so this is the condition: lambda g will be slightly greater than lambda 0 and wave will propagate. Wave will propagate. Second, if lambda 0 is equal to lambda c, if lambda 0 is equal to lambda c, so this will be 1, 1 minus 1 will be 0, so something upon 0, it will reaches to infinity. Lambda g will be reaches to infinity, and lambda g will be reaches to infinity, and no wave propagation is possible. No wave propagation. And the third possible conclusion, if lambda 0 is greater than lambda c, if lambda 0 is greater than lambda c, so in that case this will be negative quantity and square root of that will be imaginary, so lambda g will become imaginary. Lambda g will be imaginary. Again, no wave propagation. So only possible case is that lambda g has to be greater than lambda 0. That is the only case where wave propagation is possible in a rectangular waveguide. So we conclude that wave propagates in a waveguide when guide wavelength is greater than the free space wavelength. When guide wavelength is greater than the free space wavelength. Now, many a times you get confused that if we have a rectangular waveguide, the frequency wavelength inside this waveguide is lambda g, and the wavelength outside this waveguide will be lambda 0. So does it mean that we have different frequency inside the waveguide and outside the waveguide? Answer is no, because we have the relation f is equal to c by lambda, and this lambda is lambda 0. We don't have a relation f is equal to c by lambda g. This is wrong. So anyways, lambda g is the wavelength inside the waveguide and lambda 0 is the wavelength outside the waveguide. It doesn't mean that we have different frequency of electromagnetic signal inside the waveguide and outside the waveguide. The frequency of signal inside the waveguide and outside the waveguide will be same. The wavelength is different. So how you can understand the condition of wave propagation? Lambda g is greater than 0. Generally, you know that you have velocity v is equal to lambda into f, or you can write f is equal to c by lambda. So this c is actually the velocity. It is lambda into f. So inside the waveguide, this will be lambda g into f. Is that? And since you know that now your lambda g has to be greater than lambda 0, so this velocity will be greater than c. But this c is the free space velocity, speed of the light, that is lambda 0 into f. And since lambda g is greater than lambda 0, this velocity will be greater than this velocity. This is contradicting, since no signal can travel faster than speed of light. Hence, this v is actually called as phase velocity. This is important point. Since this v is called as phase velocity, and however, it is defined as the rate at which the wave changes its phase in terms of the guide wavelength. In terms of the guide wavelength. So this is guide wavelength, and the wave is changing its phase in terms of this guide wavelength. So lambda g per unit time. This can be written as lambda g into f. So let us multiply and divide both the side, numerator and denominator, by 2 pi. And 2 pi by lambda g is beta. So phase velocity is, and 2 pi f is omega. So it is omega over beta. So this is how we define phase velocity. The wavelength in the guide is the length of the cycle. Hence, the wavelength in the guide is length of the cycle, and Vp represents the velocity of the phase. Since no intelligence or modulation travel at this velocity is termed as phase velocity. The next important definition, this is phase velocity. The next important definition is group velocity. Group velocity. It is defined as the rate at which wave propagates through the waveguide. Rate at which wave propagates inside the waveguide, which is d omega by d beta. So this is group velocity. Actually, if there is a no modulation in the carrier, the modulation envelope travels at velocity slower than that of a carrier alone, and of course slower than that of a speed of light. The velocity of modulation envelope is actually called as a group velocity Vg. So this happens when a modulated signal travels in a waveguide, the modulation goes on slipping backward with respect to the carrier. So this is actually the velocity of called as a group velocity. In sometimes if you have a multi-tone signals, so they are all are traveling in together. So the group of those signals will be traveling with some average velocity, that is called as a group velocity. And we said that this is the rate at which the wave propagates through a waveguide. So d omega by d beta. So what we did, we have defined lambda g, which is the wavelength inside the waveguide. We know lambda 0 and lambda c. We have written the interrelation among them, and we found we have drawn some conclusions depending on the value of lambda 0 and lambda c, and we conclude that for wave propagation inside the waveguide, lambda g has to be greater than lambda 0. But it will be contradiction to that, because lambda g, since it is greater than lambda 0, so this velocity, nothing will travel with this velocity, so let us call this as some phase velocity, and this is not the velocity of signal traveling through a waveguide, rather it is velocity of the phase of that signal, and this is actually the velocity with which wave is traveling. So that is d omega by d beta, change in omega with respect to change in beta. Now we can obtain the expression for phase velocity and group velocity. Expression for phase velocity and group velocity. So from TE and TM mode analysis, we know that beta is equal to under root of omega square mu epsilon minus m pi by a square minus n pi by b square. From this, at cutoff frequency, that is f is equal to fc, or you can say omega is equal to omega c, we know that at cutoff beta is equal to 0. So omega c square mu epsilon is equal to m pi by a square plus n pi by b square. So this equation of beta, let us call as some equation 1. So 1 becomes beta equal to under root of omega square mu epsilon minus omega c square mu epsilon. So we can write this beta equal to under root of mu epsilon can be taken common, omega square minus omega c square. So I can also write this mu epsilon under root of omega square minus omega c. And Vp, we have defined this omega over beta, omega over beta is equal to omega over, this is beta, under root of mu epsilon under root omega square minus omega c square is equal to 1 over mu epsilon under root mu epsilon 1 over under root of. So this omega is taken to the denominator, 1 minus omega c over omega brackets. That is, our phase velocity will be this 1 upon under root mu epsilon is c. So c over under root of 1 minus omega c is 2 pi fc. Omega is equal to 2 pi. 2 pi cancel. So that can be written as fc by f square brackets. So this term fc by f can be written as f is equal to c by lambda. So c by lambda c, and this f is equal to c by lambda 0. So it is in denominator. So I can write this lambda 0 by c. So this can be cancelled out, and the term fc by f is actually lambda 0 by lambda c. Therefore, finally, Vp is equal to c over under root of 1 minus fc by f is lambda 0 by lambda c. Lambda 0 by lambda c. So this is expression for phase velocity. This is expression for phase velocity. Now let us obtain expression for group velocity. We know that group velocity is defined as d omega over d beta. So we know beta. Beta is this. So beta is equal to, we know that beta is equal to under root of mu epsilon in bracket omega square minus omega c square beta. Okay. Now differentiating this beta with respect to omega. Differentiating with respect to omega, we get d beta over d omega is equal to, this will become 1 by 2 into mu epsilon omega square minus omega c square, 1 by 2 minus 1 minus 1 by 2 into 2 omega mu epsilon. So this is what we have differentiated beta with respect to omega. So this can be just modified like this, 1 over 2 square root of, this minus 1 by 2 will become plus 1 by 2 if we take it to the denominator, mu epsilon omega square minus omega c square into 2 omega mu epsilon. So this 2 and this 2 can be cancelled out. This under root mu epsilon can be cancelled out with this. So at the numerator we have under root mu epsilon into omega. So we have group velocity from this. We have, we have this term d beta or d omega is equal to omega under root mu epsilon over under root of omega square minus omega c square. So this omega can be taken to the denominator. So I can write this under root of mu epsilon. Now this omega over omega will be 1. So under root of 1 minus omega c by omega bracket square. So again you know that this thing d beta over d omega will be, and you know that this term omega c over omega can be written as fc by f, fc by f, and again fc by f is lambda 0 by lambda c. But before that, this is d beta by d omega, and actually group velocity is d omega by d beta. So just inverse it. So this will be under root of 1 minus fc by f square under root of mu epsilon. So 1 over under root of mu epsilon, this term will be c. So Vg is equal to c into this 1 minus this 1 fc by f you have just replaced by lambda 0 by lambda c square. You have just replaced fc by f by lambda 0 by lambda c square. So this is expression for a group velocity. Now if you take a product of phase and group velocity, relation between Vp and Vg, this is what Vp, c over under root of 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c bracket square, 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c bracket square into Vg is c into under root of 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c square. So this term will be cancelled, and we have Vp into Vg is equal to c square. This is one more important relation. So before conclude this lecture, at the start of this we said that we have a relation among lambda g, lambda 0 and lambda c in this fashion. So try to derive this relation among lambda g, lambda 0 and lambda c. So just now you define Vp. So Vp is lambda g into f, and f is equal to c by lambda. So lambda g into c, that lambda is lambda 0. And phase velocity you also derived like this, c upon under root of this c upon under root of 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c brackets. So equate these two equations of phase velocity. So equating both, one can write c over under root of 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c square is equal to lambda g by lambda 0. So c can be cancelled out. Therefore lambda g is equal to lambda 0 upon under root of 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c square. So this is the relation you have used in your microwave lab, you must have used in your microwave lab while doing frequency measurement. And at the start, we have also used this to obtain the phase velocity definition or the condition for wave propagation inside the rectangular. Thank you.